Hello. Thank you all for joining me today. It's so nice to be here. Um, my name is Jessica McNaughton, and I am the CEO and founder of MemoryKPR Technologies. MemoryKPR is a digital solution for saving, storing, protecting, and preserving your story. I'm going to take you a little bit down my own memory lane. First, telling you we are a company here local in Saskatchewan. We are committed to your privacy, your experience, and most especially your story. We are facing a generation of lost stories, and I'll tell you my own story to begin. The reason I started this company and founded this company was the people on the side of the screen that you see: my mother, my father, and my niece, and what I learned about grieving and about healing with the different pieces of media you have of a person who's passed. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to start by telling you that my mom passed 15 years ago, my niece 7, and my dad 5. And I really noticed a difference throughout what we had and what we had gathered from people and how meaningful it was, depending on how long ago it was. 15 years ago, we weren't in the habits we are now for capturing everything on our phones. And so, unfortunately, I don't have a recording of my mom's voice, but I do of my father's, and I do of my niece's. And that makes a difference for me and my family in our, like I said, our grieving and our healing, but also in how we pass on their stories and how we keep our family stories alive. So I'm going to tell you a little story about what we've done with Eden Care. We started a pilot project with Eden Care with our technology called MemoryKPR in October of last year. And we were working in one of their facilities in Saskatoon with a select number of residents who had, a number of family members, fairly comfortable with some digital content. And I'm going to tell you a story about Rosie, who's on the screen. Rosie's 90 years old. And, especially during COVID in this last year, the ability to connect with your family has not been that strong. So Rosie was able to, we did a couple things for Rosie. First, Rosie was able to start capturing her story with Laura, an amazing individual at the Prairie Springs facility. And Laura sat and asked Rosie questions and captured some beautiful pieces of Rosie's history and her story to create a memory keeper for Rosie and her family. What else happened though was Rosie was such a great participant that we actually also invited the family to create one for Rosie. And so the family all at Christmas, we had children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren. In fact, I heard a story that one of the babies that was in the video, Rosie grandma, hadn't even been able to meet yet. So all the family did video tributes. They did some beautiful things, like cooking with her recipes, putting her decorations on their Christmas tree, all sorts of stuff. And then what we did was as you can see in the screen there, we created one of these. It's a digital card, super easy. We loaded the story onto it. And from a senior's perspective, to be able to open it and it plays, close it and it stops. There's no fiddling with buttons. It's a really great way to have seniors get to connect with their family, especially during this time. So that's Rosie, and that's where we started with the pilot project. But now we are looking at taking this technology and the ability for more staff in Eden Care homes to capture more stories of the elders that live there. I'm going to tell you another story. So on this side of the screen here, you'll see someone, and this is a beautiful story I heard about this lady who gone through so many things in her life, reflecting on her grandmother's life. And her grandmother, who raised 4 boys on her own, had a lot of grit, a lot of funny little sayings, a lot of great stories. And so when the young mom was, getting tired and wearing of her 2 children who were testing her nerves, she often reflected back on what her grandmother went through and just the grit and the tenacity that her grandma showed. And she talks often about how her grandma helped her get through some tough years. And the irony, I think, we found in this story was that the two had never met. The beautiful part of this is stories and stories being passed down matter to the people that are with us now, but the people that come after us as well. And so this is part of why we believe MemoryKPR has a very, very important mandate to help people capture stories digitally. in the same person that told me this story had told me that there's some research done with some young children actually, and they asked these children 20 questions about their heritage and their history. And ironically, or maybe not ironically, the children that answered that knew the most about like where your grandparents grew up, when did your family settle in this part of the country, how did your grandparents meet, how did your parents meet, things like this. The children that answered the best actually had higher self-esteem, resilience, social and academic competence, measured by a team of social scientists. So there's some, good science there to say this makes a difference. But also on the other side, there's some incredible science to say reminiscent therapy and other therapies where individuals, especially individuals experiencing early stage memory loss, can hear memories gently in their own words, digitally, makes a huge difference. So I mean, you can see just in 73 seconds, 37 million academic reports were returned when looking into this. The majority of these reports have found, although some were inconclusive depending, the majority of them say that hearing stories and hearing multidimensional stories, seeing video, hearing voice, it's not just still one-dimensional, it's not just one memory at a time, but a flowing, beautiful story, makes a difference in people's memory longevity, as well as their mood when losing their memory and their patience with themselves and with those around them. So there is a great compelling story about why digital stories matter to the residents in their last 20 years of life, not just for the people who come after them, but for themselves, for their joy, for their happiness, for their health, and for their mental memory longevity. So we are MemoryKPR. What we do is we are a digital platform that allows you to collect media. So we are in the business of preserving stories. So you can add pictures, videos, voice memories, music. You can just write a letter. You can scan documents, pictures, pretty much put everything except smell from your senses into one MemoryKPR. It's as easy as creating a project, either adding all the media yourself or easily inviting other people via internet link and or a QR code to contribute to your story, and then sharing the story the same way. It's always going to be there. It's in the internet. You own the data. It is safe for you to access whenever you need to, and it's a beautiful way to retain your story in a private manner, not like social media. This is your data. It's protected for you, and we're not sharing it with anyone else. So why it's special, other than really partially its ease of use. The ease of use is incredible. The fact that you get to control your story and how it's told. It's flexible on how you use it, either a link or a QR code, and it's easy. We have 8-year-olds using it. We have 80-year-olds using it. Once you know what you're doing, it's just so easy. You can use it on a computer, but you can also use it on a tablet or a phone. And you can record your story right in the application. We're using it for all sorts of different things, but my favorite is really in the senior space. It's having a profound and meaningful impact on the people that we're serving. So it's as easy, like I said, as 1, 2, 3. The other thing you'll notice here is that when you create a story, you have beautiful amount of flexibility when it comes to how you want to set the privacy, who you want to see it, if anyone, if you want to add additional privacy to it. The safety is second to none. It's something that's very important to us. So you create a project. This is one we had created for a lady by the name of Doreen, who's given us full permission to use it. We have some of her family sending her greetings, as well as we have her recalling a ton of incredible old stories, like her very first date with their great grandpa, and some really meaningful things. So it was very easy for her to create, to upload video, and to share with the family, and ask the family to contribute as well. They were able to upload media. Like I said, you can do still picture with a voice tag, a video, a text, or a voice recording. You can invite people to contribute. You can also invite them to view the product, the story. So there's lots of different ways to interact, and we just think that we're going to help some seniors tell some better stories as a result, and some incredible stories live on. Well, in closing, I just want to share one story I read about a lady who was using reminiscent therapy with her husband, who was in the early stages of dementia. And she recorded a lot of his own stories. And she said everything else she tried. Now, every human being is different. And so it works for some and it doesn't for some. But everything else she tried agitated him. And when she played back his music and his stories in his words and the sound of his voice, she said it was almost hypnotic. She went into a trance and he was joyful and happy, and it often calmed him down. Now, again, this is something that is different for every single person, but these are the stories that we know mean this product. And whether it's MemoryKeeper or any technology, capturing stories is going to make a difference in the lives of the senior citizens we care about. So for more information, please feel free to reach out to us. You can find us online at memorykeeper.com. That's memory and then KPR.com. And yeah, we're really excited to be here, hoping to have some interesting questions from you all as well. Such a great gathering opportunity for everyone here. Thank you.